Hello, everybody, and welcome to the DK and Bill Wrestling Podcast. I'm Bill,
I'm DK.
and this is our, I guess we could call it Thanksgiving episode, because we're, as of this recording, 2 days away from Thanksgiving here in the United States. Want to wish everybody in the United States a safe and happy Thanksgiving.
Yes, definitely.
Today we are going to be reviewing a classic Survivor Series, which won our fan poll, and I'll talk about the fan poll in a little bit because it actually came a lot closer than I thought it would.
Yeah. There's some good choices there.
We did. We had some real good choices. But before we get to that, this Saturday happens to be Survivor Series, and more important is the main roster debut of the War Games.
Yeah. Should be exciting.
We have two War Games matches, which we'll talk about in a couple of minutes. But we are going to look at the card, and we're going to make predictions on each of the matches for the Survivor Series. So we'll begin with the matches that are not War Games based, and there's only, as of this recording, only 3 of them. So we'll start with the match that was added on Raw this past Monday night, a triple threat match for the United States title, Seth Rollins defending against Bobby Lashley and Austin Theory.
Yeah, this should be interesting. I kind of liked his new character, I guess we'll say.
Theory,
Yeah, Theory. He had like a beard and he wasn't doing I guess he's going to be more of like a tough persona than not doing the selfie stuff anymore.
Yeah.
From what I've been told. So I think he needed a refresh. Like basically, like we've talked on other shows, like he was Vince McMahon's kind of guy, and then they kind of get him to do a cash in. It doesn't work. We were always talking like, what's going to happen with the cash in? Because we never really, he was never really one of those guys that you expected to become a world champion.
Right.
For me, like when Dolph Ziggler won it, you kind of expected him to cash in at some point. Seth Rollins and these guys that have cashed in the past.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Theory can win this in some kind of like why would you bring him back as kind of like a new face and then put him in a title match and have him lose right away?
Right.
I think we might have a small little Austin Theory push here. So I'm going to go out on a limb and I'm going to pick Austin Theory to win this match and become the United States champion.
Of the 2 title matches, because we do have another one that we'll talk about in a little bit, this one has the better chance of a title change happening. I really do think that. Honestly, I liked his Theory's promo last night on Raw. I thought there was something good about that. Rollins, I can't figure out if he's a face or a heel.
Yeah, you see about these guys like he just goes back and forth, and the crowd is into him.
Lashley, so I can't figure out. This may be the match where we don't know who's a face and who's a heel.
Honestly.
Yeah. I don't see Lashley winning this match. I don't. So it comes down to Rollins and Theory. Rollins just got the belt. So yeah. I think he's going to hold on to it. But I could see him and Theory going the rest of this year and a little into 23 having a feud for that title. So I'm going to say Rollins retains the title. But I wouldn't be surprised if Theory won it. I really would.
I wouldn't be surprised if any of these 3 people left the stadium with the title.
Well,
it's one like that's kind of what we like about wrestling, right? When we can't predict everything.
Mm-hmm.
And like this match is like if you asked me this 2 weeks ago, I would have said, "Oh, Seth is going to win."
Mm-hmm.
But like just the way they've almost remade the Theory character, the Austin Theory character.
Yeah.
I think maybe I don't know, like is he going to be a tough guy heel character, or is he gonna maybe transition almost into a baby face as being a guy that's against all odds kind of character. So
Mm-hmm.
and you gotta kind of look at like maybe what's gonna happen in the future here. Like is Roman Reigns going to be getting a new challenger for Royal Rumble? Or is maybe a Seth or a Bobby Lashley like maybe the next guy that can maybe challenge him on the road to WrestleMania?
I think it's going to depend on what happens with the War Games, and we'll
Yeah,
talk about the War Games
and there's
because I
and
kind of have a
we'll,
theory. I kind of have a theory on that one.
no pun intended, right? You
No
have a
pun
theory.
intended. No pun intended.
Okay.
Right.
I had a theory as well.
Mm-hmm.
No pun intended. But I don't know if you heard the big injury news over the weekend.
Oh, with KO.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
I
I
heard
thought
about that.
I kind of thought KO would be that guy that challenge him, where Kevin Owens doesn't have to win or go over in a match
Mm-hmm.
to stay like in his spot,
Yeah.
in my opinion. So now, like that's why I'm kind of lost here. Like I don't know what they're gonna do. Maybe they'll something will happen at Survivor Series, hopefully,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe start us on that road. But so who are you? Who did you pick to win?
I said Rollins.
Rollins. Okay, so Bobby Lashley, congrats. Usually when there's three guys and we each pick one, the other guy
Right.
wins.
Pretty much. That's been our luck, folks. It really- All right. Next match. AJ Styles against Finn Balor.
Wow, this is going to be a good one, I think.
I'm looking forward to this one.
This card is kind of sneaky good. Like there's not a lot of matches, but yeah, this one could be good. Yeah, so this just a singles match between the two guys, right?
Right.
Okay. I was surprised that they weren't going to do something with the teams, considering like you had DOC come back,
Yeah.
and then you got
Being
Judgment Day, and
added.
it is Survivor Series. Like I'm really surprised they didn't do like a mixed kind of 4 versus 4
Mm-hmm.
kind of match, but now we get a WrestleMania caliber match here at Survivor Series.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take Finn Balor. I just think there's gonna be a heel win here, maybe so with some interference.
Now, I saw something today that caught my eye. And if you had asked me this afternoon who I would pick, I probably would have said Finn Balor. But then I saw this stat today because for those that don't know, DK and I, we're big into sports, but we also, we catch stats here and there that kind of catch our eye.
Yeah.
Do you know the last time AJ Styles won a match on pay-per-view? Any match, any kind of match.
A match on pay-per-view.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking like a year. Like maybe a year ago. Like he's kind of had a rough road there.
You have to go back to Money in the Bank 2021. Almost
Wow.
a year and a half since his last win on pay-per-view.
2021.
And it was a tag match.
What the hell? Why are they burying AJ Styles?
I don't think they're burying him. It's just okay.
Well, he was kind of like a heel there for a bit. Like he had when he had almost
right.
Is that saying that name right?
Almost.
Yeah. Okay. They had him as kind of like his Diesel, Sean and Diesel.
Since that match at Money in the Bank 2021, which I can't even remember who they beat, he's lost in tag matches, battle royals, Royal Rumble, 6-man, mixed tags, singles matches, you name it, he's lost.
Okay.
I think this is where it ends. I think AJ Styles gets his one and only pay-per-view win of 2022. AJ Styles will beat Finn Balor.
He might be pushing the Big Show for that record. There was a year where Big Show had 3 wins, counting house shows.
I mean, well, hey, at least AJ hasn't
250 dates, and he won 3 matches out of the 250.
At least AJ hasn't gone back and forth on face and heel turns like Big Show has.
Yeah, that was kind of like the downfall for him.
Poor guy.
I don't know if you saw the post that I got a bunch of likes and replies on that I had on Facebook with the Big Show this past week.
Oh, was it the Captain Insano appearance?
So my comment was, this is the worst thing he's ever done, and he was once in a sumo match at WrestleMania.
Oh, I like that. Not the sumo match. I meant the music video.
I want to thank the group, and I had a lot of feedback on that one, a lot of
Wait a minute.
likes and comments and stuff. So
Wait a minute.
I was just sitting there, and I was like, and I was like, I wasn't just trying to harass Paul White there. I just like, this is true. Like, that sumo match was one of the worst things I've ever seen.
Well, yeah, but I mean,
and like, come on, Paul.
Oh.
And now he's bringing back the Water Boy character.
Oh, it was one time.
Oh man,
one time.
It was just a one-time deal, because I heard that he trademarked it and he was going to be Captain Insano from now on.
Good for him. Good for him.
You wonder how much he had to pay.
Like, you keep it going.
Does Happy Madison own that? Like, is Adam Sandler making money off this? Maybe.
I don't know.
I don't know. And you get sidetracked on this show. I love
it. The final match that is not War Games is the SmackDown Women's Title match. Ronda Rousey defends the title against Shotzi.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is.
What's the point of this match? Like what happened to the SmackDown Women's Champion faces the Raw Women's Champion? Because the match is too big, that Survivor Series isn't. They don't want to wreck it. They want to have this at a later date at a bigger show.
I mean, honestly,
the only thing I can think of, like why are they putting Shotzi in this spot?
This is nothing against Ronda Rousey. It really isn't what I'm about to say.
Okay.
But since she won the belt back in May, the title has been irrelevant.
Mm-hmm.
The only time it has mattered since then, and again, it's not, let me say it for the record, it is not Ronda's fault. It is not Liv Morgan's fault. It is none of the women's fault. It is just the booking. The belt has not been relevant since Liv cashed it in. Cashed a Money in the Bank contract.
You know what this reminds me of? Were you finished your...
yeah, I'm done.
Okay.
I'm done.
It reminds me of Brock Lesnar, Universal Champion, 5 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Where he would come in, he would dominate, and then you would see him once in a while, and it was freaking boring, and nobody cared. Not the Brock Lesnar we got now. I like the cowboy Brock Lesnar. This is different. Ronda kind of seems like a stale heel, where you're supposed to dislike her, but you kind of like her, but it's kind of boring what she's doing. And she can't really have, except for maybe with some of the top girls, she can't really have a good match with Liv Morgan or Shotzi or some of these other girls. She should, with her character, destroy them. And in that, you can't really, when you're the champion, it's just boring. You know she's going to win. She's not going to lose by someone interfering, because she's a heel. That's just, I don't like it. I don't think Ronda Rousey needs a championship. She could be an attraction where she shows up 5 or 6 times a year in a big time match. We don't need to see Ronda versus Shotzi here. I would much rather have um, like the Raw Women's Championship defended here.
Okay. I mean,
I
honestly,
don't understand it.
the only match that I could think of that I'd like to see Ronda in right now is against Shayna Baszler because they're both like BFFs.
Sure.
They travel together. Why not? Why not have Ronda and Shayna? Let's have that match. I'd like to see it because
Yeah,
Shayna, to me, is an underrated wrestler.
she
Like,
is.
she's so good in the ring.
Well, you'd have to have one of them as a heel and one as a baby. You can't just, hey, we're friends, let's fight, see who's better. I guess you could do that, but you
I
want to
think
like,
people would get behind Shayna. I really do.
yeah, they would. I'd like to see a shoot fight. Put them in a cage on pay per view. They're both MMA stars, right? That'd
Yeah.
be great to see. But you never do that
No.
because Ronda would probably get beat, and you
Plus,
can't have
I
her getting
think.
beat.
Plus, I think I know where they're going with Ronda to WrestleMania. I think, but I'm not like set in stone on it. So
Yeah, I don't know. Like it's always been Ronda Becky for me, but now I think Bianca has passed her on the depth chart, and I think Bianca's the top girl right now.
mm-hmm.
And Bianca's a babyface. I don't know how they would do it if Bianca would lose her title and maybe win the Royal Rumble and say, you know what, I've dominated Raw. I want to move over and challenge SmackDown. That's how I would do it.
Right.
But the Becky Ronda thing, it's been a 4-year build really
Mm-hmm.
since she lost at WrestleMania 35, and then COVID happened. Like
Yeah.
I'm sure WrestleMania 36 was going to be Ronda returns versus Becky,
Mm-hmm.
where Ronda's the babyface and she beats Becky, but COVID screwed it up. I think that was 36. I might be getting the years wrong. But
Mm. All right. So we both agree Ronda is going to retain on that one.
yeah, in probably like 2.5 minutes.
All right. So the main attraction for the Survivor Series this year is the War Games, and we are getting two of them. We're getting a men's and a women's War Games. And I just want to say before we get to the matches, if you do not have Peacock, the cock here in the US, or the WWE Network,
Do they call it that?
I
The cock?
call it that. I call it.
You
Me and a
have the
couple
cock.
others. We got the
The
cock.
cock.
I'm referring to Peacock, folks.
All right.
Keep your mind clean.
Peacock and a turkey. You know, so
Um, over the weekend, they came out with a new best of WWE, which I normally don't watch unless it's something very interesting. I'm gonna
I'm glad you brought
try.
that up. I did watch it.
I'm gonna try to
good.
watch this before Saturday. It is a best of War Games compilation, and
Mhm.
I saw one look at the listing and I was like, "Oh, this is gonna be fan freaking tastic." It just is.
And I hadn't seen the NXT one they did. The
Those are
NXT
good.
one with
Those are good.
Johnny Gargano does some crazy stuff off the cage.
Mhm.
So I don't,
All right. So now that I've plugged the cock or the network,
I can't
um,
even get the dream.
look, if you could get command skins over in the US, I'm gonna get the cock over in Canada.
Hey, you know what? Command Skins is gonna be the name one day.
Hey,
And like I
it's
haven't
trending in my
trademarked it.
house.
I should trademark it.
It's trending in my house. If it makes you feel good.
Command Skins too.
All right.
I love it.
All right. So let's start with the women's war games.
All right.
It is going to be Damage Control, Bailey, Dakota Kai, and Io Sky, along with Nikki Cross and Rhea Ripley, against Bianca Belair, Alexa Bliss, Asuka, Mia Yim, and a fifth partner to be announced. And from what I read, it is going to be announced on SmackDown Friday night.
Okay. Why wouldn't they just save it for a surprise? But I guess they have to come out.
because they're going to try to get as many viewers as they can to watch the show after Thanksgiving, and because that's going to be a low number probably for that event or for that
Yeah.
show. So 2 questions. Who do you think the 5th member is for Bianca's team, and who wins this match?
Yeah. I can't even. Let me think about this. The 5th member. Okay, so let me know the participants one more time.
Okay. So it is
I'll see who's
Bailey.
missing.
It is
Okay.
Bailey, Dakota Kai, Io Sky, Nikki Cross, and Rhea Ripley
Okay.
against Bianca Belair, Alexa Bliss, Asuka, Mia Yim, and whoever the 5th person is.
Okay. Well, this is probably not right, but I want to go out on a limb and make a wild card pick here. Is this like a Sasha Banks return?
Never know.
Or Naomi return?
Never know.
If it was just some, I don't mean to downgrade this if it's not like a big star returning, but if it was just some other person, they would just say who it is. It's got to be someone big, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I'm going to say Sasha. I know there's tons of rumors how she's not going to wrestle anymore and she's doing other things, but it would be cool for her to come back. Triple H is in charge now. Maybe things are different. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
That's just my guess. I'll say Damage Control wins this.
All right. To start, your guesses are not bad. They're not. Either one of them would be good.
Yeah. It's more like what I want from what I think.
Right. So I'm going to do the same. I'm going to do a what I want and what I think.
Okay.
What I want to fit, if you're going to fit in the storyline, is Beth Phoenix, because of what happened with her and Rhea Ripley at Extreme Rules almost 2 months ago. Because somebody suggested that, and I was like, that's not a bad pick.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. I didn't think of like an older legend type return.
Right.
Maybe Trish Stratus, maybe. She's supposed to be coming back too, right?
Maybe. Who I think it will be, and this is the rumor that I have read, is Becky Lynch comes back.
See, I always thought Becky Lynch would be a Royal Rumble return.
Exactly. I thought save her for the Rumble, but maybe they're going,
maybe because
Survivor Series.
I think they're doing a Cody return at the Rumble. Maybe it wouldn't be as big of a return since you already have this other big return.
Yeah, one overshadow the other. Yeah,
but that was SummerSlam, right? And I thought it was 4 to 6 months when she got hurt.
Right. Unless she has really good.
Unless she pulls like John Cena here and just tells the doctors, "Nope, I'm doing what I want."
Yeah. I actually am going to agree with you on this. Is like our first actual real agreement, because the Ronda thing is like, oh, it's Ronda. I think it's going to be Damage Control that wins this. I
just think they're more of a team.
Yeah,
they're an actual team. The other ones are like 5 girls kind of thrown together.
Yeah, but I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be good. I do think both of them are going to be good, the men's and the women's. But
so like the War Games, it starts off with 2 people, and then someone comes out.
Mm-hmm. They're going to alternate out every 3 minutes after the initial 5.
Okay.
They're going to alternate.
It's like the Royal Rumble, but
until everyone is in. Yeah.
And then everyone's in the ring at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you eliminate by pinfall or submission,
1 pin or 1 submission is all it takes.
Okay.
And you win. So.
Oh, okay. So you don't have to eliminate people.
No.
So basically, if I know this would never happen. So see, rules like that kind of throw me a little bit because you know nothing is going to happen until the end,
Well,
until everyone comes out.
yeah, it can't happen until everyone is in. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. I got you now.
Makes it kind of exciting to a degree.
Okay. Yeah, I always thought it was like elimination.
Mm-mm.
So basically, like theoretically, it could be Bailey versus Bianca at the beginning. Bailey
Yeah, it
pins her,
could. Yeah.
and then the game, and then the match is over before everyone comes out. Like that could happen.
No, it can't end until everyone is in.
So they don't even do pinfalls or anything until everybody's in.
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
So like
You
it's
just
like the first
you just
part,
beat your opponent.
you just beat the crap out of each other
Oh, okay.
until
Okay.
everyone comes in.
I got you. I got
Yeah.
you.
All right. So then we have the men's war games. This storyline wise has me the most excited.
Okay.
It is Sheamus, Ridge Holland, Butch, Drew McIntyre, and Kevin Owens against the Bloodline.
Yeah. Except Kevin Owens is out now.
Well, I mean,
So we need to know who it is.
they haven't officially announced. Like as of
Yeah.
right now, he is in the match. He's going to go through this match.
According to the reports, he tore his MCL and he's out 4 to 6 months. So
I saw 6 to 8 weeks.
Oh, 68 weeks? Okay, maybe I read it wrong. 68 weeks is much better.
Yeah.
So I don't know who would replace him if the reports are right. I'm the opposite of you. I don't mean to like not plug this event for WWE. I am not like really totally excited about this match because I think the Bloodline is just rolling so much. I don't see how they would lose. Like, I don't know. I might be wrong, but it's not just Roman Reigns. Right. It's everyone in that group.
Everybody.
You got the young guy who is probably undefeated, I'm guessing, dominating. Right. Sami Zayn is the most over wrestler in the world.
Oh my God, he is so insane.
Okay, like whatever he says will go on a shirt and sell 1 million copies right now. He's at that level. The Usos just passed the New Day for the longest reigning tag champs ever
for WWE.
For WWE, and then Roman Reigns is doing a legendary run here.
He's on a 2+ year run.
I don't see any aspect on which the Bloodline would lose to like Sheamus, who is a mid-card guy now. Can we agree with that?
Okay.
I think he's a mid-card guy. He hasn't really been a main eventer for a few years. His tag partner, Drew McIntyre, had a great match with Roman Reigns. I don't think he's on the same level as Roman Reigns right now. Not like really anybody is. Like Kevin Owens has been doing really good stuff, but it's just I don't know. Now, Kevin Owens is probably out. Is Brock Lesnar coming in for this? If Brock Lesnar is a replacement, then I'm a little bit more invested. I'm excited for this event, don't get me wrong. And I'm gonna watch the main event. It's gonna be good. I just don't think the Bloodline loses.
See, this is where, and I'm kind of glad we're different on this one, as far as the excitement of the match.
Sure.
And I'm going to go back to talking about the best of WWE compilation that we talked about a couple minutes ago. Because the first match they have on there is the very first War Games. And as a fan, like I look back into history and stuff. If you look at the Horsemen going into that War Games, they are as hot at their time as the Bloodline is right now.
Yeah.
If you're going to compare. And I'm sure somebody's probably screaming at me like, you dumb something. Anyway, what I mean by that is you've got you've got the dominant champion in both groups, Flair and Reigns. You've got your tag team, the Horsemen, it's Arn and Tully, the Bloodline, it's the Usos. You got your young up and comer. You got Lex Luger here for the Horsemen, and you got Solo Sikoa for the Bloodline. And you have the mouthpiece, even though they do have Paul Heyman. Heyman is not in the match. You have JJ Dillon for the Horsemen, and you have Sami Zayn for the Bloodline. Where I see the Bloodline losing the match is actually with Sami Zayn, because I saw the video the other day. We're on Smackdown. He made a guarantee the Bloodline will win. And in wrestling terms, if you make a guarantee a good amount of time, it does not happen. So I'm going to say Team Sheamus, or team, whoever you want to call it, as the captain, will win. Now, I have a couple.
That's where I lose you, because we don't even know who the captain is.
Well, I don't think it matters who the captain is.
Yeah, I guess
but
not.
I have a couple of theories about how this is going to go.
Sure.
One theory is something will happen between Sammy and Jay, where either one of them will get beat.
Yeah, that kind of seems like the obvious route that it could go with their dissension.
Now, here's the other one. And I know your reaction. I already know it in my head, but I'm just going to say it.
I will let you finish your statement,
okay,
and then I will make the funny face into the camera.
Okay. Roman Reigns hasn't been pinned in almost 3 years.
Oh, God, he's going to say it. Okay.
If you're going to pull the trigger, now's the time to do it, and have it be KO. Have it be KO. And there you get your Royal Rumble match.
Okay.
I'm not saying it's going to happen.
I like what you're saying there, because that would be shocking. And that's what we love in wrestling. We love shocking. But I really don't see it happening.
I understand.
Like, it's too bad about the injury. Hopefully it's not like as bad and they're just playing it up maybe. But yeah, so yeah, you're excited for the show?
I'm looking forward to it. Honestly, I think the exception is Ronda and Shotzi. Again, not your fault, ladies. I'm just not looking forward to that match.
Yeah,
everything else looks good.
Like, I guess they just want to have Ronda out there on a major show.
Yeah.
They don't really have anyone for her to like beat badly, maybe.
Right.
Maybe they don't want her to beat Liv again.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know. Like,
in there. Get somebody
like they had this thing, like her and Shayna were like choking out Natalya in the back. Like, couldn't you do like a Shayna and Ronda tag match versus Natalya and a partner or something? Like, I would be.
She had to get nose surgery.
Yeah, I guess so.
But
all right.
So that's our preview for the Survivor Series. We'll see how we do. Should be entertaining.
Yeah.
All right. Now, last episode, we each had we each had 2 picks together to have 4 choices for our November pay-per-view review. And to be fair, to be honest, it was a close one for a little bit. Because
I kept sharing the post, and then I think the classic kind of took over here.
It did. It came down to Survivor Series 91 and the first World War III. Mm-hmm. And I gotta admit, I was impressed with how World War III did. I did not expect it to be second place.
Yeah.
Especially, because we haven't done a WCW pay-per-view, although that will be ending shortly, folks. We'll talk about that in a little bit.
Yeah, we did. If you guys are longtime listeners, we did talk about this earlier in the year about something that we were doing in December.
Yep.
So,
hopefully,
we have listeners there that know what we're talking about.
Yep. But Survivor Series 91 won the poll, and that is what we're going to be reviewing. And I'm gonna be upfront. I remember seeing this live on pay-per-view as a kid because it was Thanksgiving Eve. This was the first Thanksgiving Eve Survivor Series. So, like I like there's some things where I look back on and I'm like, man, they made a smart business decision at times. This is one of them because yes, I know, wrestling on Thanksgiving is a long time tradition, blah, 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 blah. But if you got a family and you got young kids and you want to distract them on Thanksgiving Eve while you're, making the desserts, getting the turkey, get the turkey starting to go, the mashed potatoes, the stuffing, the, whatever it is you have.
Yeah.
Why not fork up however much pay-per-views were in 1991 to pay,
Probably like 20 bucks.
probably $20.
19 bucks, something like that.
Not that much.
I remember like having to like I think it was like 25 or something in 96. So it's
Right.
probably even cheaper in
Yeah.
91.
So why not, fork up the money, be like, hey kids, we got you the Survivor Series. Go watch it. Your mom and I
sit in the living room and leave us alone.
Yeah, we're gonna be cooking for a while.
Yeah.
So the main attraction to this Survivor Series, besides the traditional Survivor Series match, is we have for the first time ever a world championship match at the Survivor Series. Hulk Hogan and the Undertaker. I cannot wait to tell you my wonderful story of 6-year-old Bill and how he was prepared for that match.
I got a few complaints about where that match is on this show.
Oh my God. I can't wait to talk about that.
Because anyway, we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
17,500
is the attendance, or at least that's the listed attendance for the show.
You said Joe Louis, right?
Joe Louis Arena.
Yeah.
Almost got a $250,000 gate on this one, 240,000, and
good for 91.
Good for 91, and for pay-per-view numbers, did pretty good. It did a 2.2. A little lower from the previous year, which did a 3, but higher than the next year, which did a 1.4.
Yeah, well, Survivor Series 92 is, I don't know.
Has
sometimes I like reviewing these shows that like I know suck because they're more fun to complain than say, hey, all these matches were great and I don't have any complaints.
The 92 Survivor Series has one great match.
Yeah.
And it's at the end.
Yeah.
All right. So anyway, I still have to this day my recorded tape of the show, but I did not use the tape to watch this one. I used the cock for this one.
Oh, you should have like busted out the VHS, man.
I was thinking about it.
That would have took me back.
And I'm gonna tell you guys, if you recorded it on videotape, you probably don't have to watch it on the network or the cock because they didn't take anything out. They didn't add anything in. It's pretty much the pay-per-view broadcast.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't even edit the music. So yay, good job. Good job not editing any music. All right. So let's begin.
Can I say one thing about this show before we start?
Yes.
We could also call Survivor Series 1991 the pre-show for Tuesday in Texas.
Yes,
that's all they freaking talk about for the entire time. Could you imagine renting this on pay-per-view and then it's basically a pre-show?
It is.
For Tuesday in Texas.
Or as I was thinking about it, like last week, this is the first episode of Raw is War before we even know what Raw is War was.
Exactly.
Considering what we're gonna get here.
We got a Wednesday night show and then you got a Tuesday show. Like, what is going on in this world? I don't know.
All right.
Anyway, let's go.
Anyway,
I got some complaints about this show, but
let's get into it.
Liked it, but yeah, okay. Go ahead.
We're getting DK worked up, but we haven't even started. This is great. So, Gorilla Monsoon welcomes us to the show.
Mm-hmm.
And he talks about how the fans are roaring in anticipation, but also in rampage or in upset, anger because of what happened to Randy Savage.
Yep.
So we go back to what happened last weekend on Superstars. And this is another moment that I remember in my head watching as a 6-year-old. Randy
Every
Savage.
single kid, every single adult now, like, remembers that time that
Yes.
Macho Man was getting ripped apart by a cobra on TV.
Yes. Oh my God.
Oh, don't worry, it's devenomized. Okay.
It better be devenomized. Like I remember
It's still biting him.
yes.
And then Jake's like, he's a heel, but he's like trying to help him. But he's trying not to help him at the same time. It was so bad. But it was crazy at the time.
Oh my God. It was crazy. Yeah, it was crazy. When I saw it happen, I kind of hid in the kitchen, but I kind of had to look at the same time. Like, I want to see what's exactly.
You're like hiding behind your okay. What Randy, okay?
Now,
damn.
Now this is the first of many times that I'm gonna mention talking to DK while watching the show, because the horror, the scary part of this opening, watching it today, is not Randy Savage getting bit by a snake, even though that is scary.
Mm-hmm.
It is how Vince McMahon cannot pronounce words that end in R, because he's like, oh, look at the horror, look at the terror in the eyes.
Like I said, when Vince McMahon was doing commentary, nobody was producing him.
Yep.
Okay, Vince McMahon's the producer. He is the only one that can say the wrong words and screw up everything.
All right.
That's why.
Terror.
That's why, like 91, like I know he didn't do it all the time, but like 91 range to 97 was so great.
I know.
Because Vince McMahon doing commentary, anything could happen.
Right.
In a World Wrestling Federation.
Exactly. So after every kid in North America was traumatized, we then get a video from Jack Tunney, who, for those that don't know, was the president of the WWF. He was the figurehead. He was the commissioner, like the GM, whatever you want to call it.
Boss guy.
So he basically says that he takes full responsibility for what happened, and he has decided that he is going to reinstate the Macho Man. Yay! All it had to take is for him to get bit. And that he has scheduled a match for him and Jake Roberts to take place at the earliest possible date, which will be this coming Tuesday in Texas.
Here's the first promo from the pre-show for Tuesday in Texas. Now, when you say reinstated, was that because he lost the retirement match to Warrior?
Right.
Okay.
Furthermore, because he has made this match, Jack Tunney has pulled Jake Roberts out of his scheduled Survivor Series match.
Yep.
So it will now be, instead of a 4-on-3 match, a 3-on-3 match, which we will discuss in great length later.
In your main event.
I have a theory. Honestly,
if you're listening on audio and you didn't hear that,
I have a theory.
Smacked my head with my own hand.
I have a theory about that when we get to it.
Oh, it's gonna be a hell of a theory, because
they better give me the Nobel Prize for what I tell you.
You know me. You know me and my Hogan logic, and you wanted the room service. So
anyway, Gorilla and Bobby welcome us. They do the preview.
Yeah.
And we go to our first match of the Survivor Series, Team Piper versus Team Flair. So the teams, Ric Flair's team, Flair is the captain, along with the Mountie, the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase, and DK's favorite big man, the Warlord. They are facing a team captained by Roddy Piper with his teammates, Bret Hart, Virgil, and the British Bulldog.
I just said, okay, I don't hate the Warlord. I just said he looks like Stone Cold, but he wrestles like Ryback. There's nothing wrong with that. I actually got some good feedback from that line too. So
I had to get that.
Love the fans of this show. So
I had to get a zinger in on that one.
DK hates everybody. You know that.
Now, one thing I do want to mention, and then we're going to get into our thoughts on the match. This is the first, and thank you, God, only Survivor Series where the managers are not allowed at ringside. I have no idea why they came up with that. It is a stupid decision then. It's a stupid decision now.
Who are the managers that weren't allowed at
Okay,
ringside?
so get ready, folks. This may be a while. Ric Flair had Mr. Perfect. Mountie had Jimmy Hart. DiBiase had Sensational Sherry. And Warlord had Harvey Whippleman.
Harvey Whippleman was great. We got to do a show on him.
So,
anyways, we're just gonna ignore what DK said.
That's no, cool. That's okay. Thoughts on the match?
It's some Hall of Famers in here.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of, and then some mid card guys too. Like Warlord should be in the Hall of Fame. Like we'll start that right now. I thought the match was pretty good. It did kind of drag for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think it's in the high 20. Maybe not high 20s, probably mid 20 range.
It is. It is a 22-minute, almost 23-minute match.
Oh, okay, but this is it four versus four, right?
4 versus 4, yeah.
We weren't doing 5, so that's going to happen on these Survivor Series matches. So my thing on 15 minutes or less won't apply to these. I thought it was a pretty good match. It kind of dragged for me with some of the eliminations, but overall I was pretty entertained. I'd probably give it a C+ for an opener. And my Wikipedia page has another match as the opener, but I didn't have it on.
Oh, it's a dark match.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that there when I was looking at the times and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't remember that. No, that's just a dark match. Okay.
Yeah. I don't know what to tell you, DK. This is my favorite match of the entire show.
Yeah.
It doesn't get any better after this.
All right. Well, I'm
no,
DK, and everyone have a good night. And, we're still here. Okay, we're still here.
In all seriousness, I did enjoy this match.
Well, if it's your favorite match, I hope you enjoyed it.
Well, yeah, I did.
Roddy Piper, $1 million man. There's some good guys in here.
Oh, great! Honestly, there's great chemistry between all 8 of them in this match. Yeah. And that's something that I don't catch often in watching Survivor Series matches is chemistry. There is great chemistry between all 8 of those guys. I agree to an extent your displeasure of how long an elimination, happens.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm going to have a complaint about the match, it's actually going to be the ending of the match, because the ending is the 6 remaining guys are in the ring. Piper throws Flair out to the floor. Everyone else is fighting in the ring. Then they go out of the ring. Then the referee just calls the bell and is like, look, all these guys are getting disqualified except for Flair. Flair wasn't involved. He's the winner.
That was the best part. Everyone's disqualified except for Flair.
No, don't get me wrong.
He's like, woo!
Flair winning is the right move. I just would have, maybe if Flair wins by count out, or if he forces Piper to get this, I don't know. But other than that, I really don't have much of a complaint for this match. So my grade is actually going to be a little bit higher than yours. I gave it a B.
Okay. That's a pretty high grade for being disappointed in the finish.
I know.
That's just me criticizing. That's what I do.
It is. That's fair.
Yeah, you know what? Like, looking back, this is probably the best match on the show.
Yeah.
Which is kind of not good.
Well, I mean, it's a Survivor Series. It has its weird moments. All right.
Yeah. It's one of those shows that kind of gets put into that WrestleMania SummerSlam category where it really shouldn't be there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's just a
Um.
hot for me.
So after Gorilla and Bobby talk, Mean Gene is on the podium and he interviews Macho Man Randy Savage. And he talks about how he's reinstated and how he's ready for Tuesday night in Texas. Ping. And then
We
Gene
should have a
asks,
Tuesday night in Texas counter on our screen.
we really should.
I don't know if you could get that
Damn, I wish I'd,
kind
you
of
know, I
graphic.
wish I
I
thought
should have
about it.
told you. Like I like saving things to get your general reaction
Right.
live on our show. Like I know the show's not live, but it's live for me and you recording.
Yeah.
So that's why a lot of times there's stuff I plan on saying that I don't tell you I'm going to say it.
If anyone wants to do like a Texas meter for this one, you have my permission.
Yeah.
So then Gene asks Randy, how does Elizabeth feel about it? And he's like, why don't you ask her?
Why don't you ask her, man?
Gene's like, what are you talking about? Why don't you ask her? And the crowd's like, oh. And then
Apparently Elizabeth had been gone for a bit too.
Yeah. So Elizabeth comes out and Gene's like, so how you feel, Elizabeth? And Elizabeth says that she will be there this Tuesday in Texas. And then Gene asks, so do you think your husband's gonna win? Oh yeah.
God. Was she okay? When Randy asked her to marry him and she said, "Oh yeah," that was awesome.
Yes.
Every other time, it's just like, oh God, I hate it.
Look, I will say, Elizabeth is the most naturally beautiful woman in the history of wrestling. That's my opinion.
I agree with that.
Just if you're gonna give her like 3 lines, just don't even give them to her.
Yeah. Yeah. Elizabeth didn't need like a boob job or anything like that, or wear skimpy outfits. She just wore like nice dresses and she just stood there and she clapped.
Yep.
And she was beautiful and
when she talked, she only talked when it mattered.
Yep. Oh yeah. That's why she didn't talk.
All right. Now to our next Survivor Series match, and this match I'm going to call the fill in the roster match, and I'll explain why.
Okay.
So I hope you guys have a blanket and a pillow for this one. Originally, and I have the magazine to prove it, the match is going to be Jim Duggan, Jim Neidhart, the Texas Tornado, and the Dragon against Colonel Mustafa, the Berserker, Skinner, and Big Bully Busick.
Jesus.
Well, the Dragon leaves the WWF before Survivor Series to go to WCW. So nice. He's out. He gets replaced by the freshly minted new character, El Matador, Tito Santana.
Oh, man. I forgot about that.
Jim Neidhart is taken out by storyline after being in a figure 4 by Ric Flair and then getting beaten up by the Beverly Brothers. He ends up getting replaced by a, hey, I'm back loving America, Sergeant Slaughter.
For some reason.
And Big Bully Busick leaves the WWF before the Survivor Series, and he gets replaced by Hercules.
Did they ever explain, like was there ever a storyline where Slaughter came out and said sorry and now he loves America?
Yeah. Okay. He's like, I want my country back.
And everyone just cheered. Yeah, 91 it was weird. If it was like 2022, they'd like never forget.
Hey, if you want us to if you want our opinions on Sergeant Slaughter in that time frame, go check out the archives.
Yeah, we have many, like the Warrior episode.
We like Slaughter. We do. It's just that angle was dumb. That's all we're going to say.
There was a war.
Yes.
Don't
All
have
right.
an Iraqi sympathizer as your champion.
Do we have anything nice to say about this match?
I liked when it was over. If you can't say what did our mothers tell us when we were
If you
kids?
got
Can't
nothing
say
nice to
something
say, then
nice.
don't
Don't
say it
say
at all.
nothing at all. But we don't follow those rules on our podcast,
No.
right, Mom?
Sorry, Mom.
I'm gonna say something bad about this match. I thought it sucked because there was no chemistry. There was no flow. Like, was there anyone in this match you cared about watching it now? It's like, oh man, I hope they win.
Probably
No, not
Duggan.
for me. Yeah, Duggan, yeah.
Probably
He,
Duggan.
he always had the fanfare.
Although actually, you know what? Santana, as of late, has kind of won me over. So maybe Santana.
Yeah.
Although Tornado kissed a young girl in the crowd as he was making his way. I don't know if you caught that.
Yeah, I did.
He'd have gone to jail today if he had done that.
Santana is. I've actually talked to him a few times. He's a Facebook friend now, and he has listened to the show.
Oh, he has.
Yes, he has.
Sweet.
So I thought that was kind of cool. He said keep doing what you're doing. So I don't know which show he listened to. He said he checked it out. So
thank you, Mr. Santana. Thank you.
Yeah,
that means a lot.
Mercedes is his real name. So, yeah, and yeah. To be honest, yeah, like we said, wasn't the best match. There wasn't too much stuff to get excited about.
Not your fault.
Yeah, not your fault. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll probably give this one a D+. I couldn't get really into it.
Here's how you know this match is bad. Number one, you pay attention to when Gorilla Monsoon says, "Oh, I think I know who's going to win this match." The beginning.
Jesus.
And number two is when one of your nephews knocks on your door and goes, "Bill, want to play Fall Guys for a little bit?" "I absolutely do. Yes, let's go."
That's funny. I don't want to do this anymore.
I don't want to go through this match. Please save me, kid. Okay, a little historic side note. This is only the second time in Survivor Series history where an entire team survives. For those that are into that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I think I know the other one too.
I know the first one. The first one was the year before, but
I think you're missing one then.
Oh,
in the 95 Survivor Series.
Yes, the Dark Side.
The Undertaker's team.
Yes.
He kind of dominates the whole match once he gets tagged in.
He does. Yeah, I agree with you. This is the worst match of the entire show. I gave this a D.
Yeah, similar.
It's so
I said D+, D works,
yeah,
D-.
We're close.
Definitely not one of the better matches I've seen.
Yeah. Just like you said, no chemistry. There's where the first match you had chemistry. This one just doesn't.
Yeah.
All right. Now to maybe my favorite part of the entire show. Because this kind of saves me from what we had just witnessed. We get an interview with Jake the Snake Roberts, who is in a god ugly sweater in 1991.
Yeah, what is this?
Oh god.
Is that what people wore, or is Jake just being weird here?
Bill Cosby wore something like that, but
Bill Cosby. I don't know if that's all right. All good.
Yep. So Jake cuts a great Jake promo. This may be my favorite Jake promo of 1991 pay-per-views, which is like only 2 or 3. So there's really not much to pick from.
I love that.
So
that's great.
So he talks about how Elizabeth's going to be there. And he's like, Princess, don't expect the prince to wake up the next morning. And then he gives maybe my favorite all-time end to a promo sentence I've ever heard. He's like, this Tuesday in Texas is not the end.
Is that the fourth one?
I believe that's the fourth.
Okay.
It's not the end. It's not the beginning. It's not even the beginning of the end. Yet.
Like, what are you talking about, Jake?
Yet, it's the end of the beginning.
He said a bunch of nonsense.
I don't care. It's Jake Roberts.
And yeah, that's what people say. One of the best promos in wrestling. We can't, like, he was the only guy that could give a promo and like be quieter and not be angry, and then it would get over. And it was almost like villainous and creepy.
Yeah.
Like what you just said. He just said a bunch of stuff and it got over in your eyes.
I'm going to say this.
If
some college offers a class on Jake Roberts promos, please let me know. I will sign up for that class.
I'm sure Jake would teach it.
Oh boy. All right. So now you're getting me excited for that. Okay. So now we go, because we're going to hype up the WWF Championship Match, the Grievous Challenge, Hulk Hogan and The Undertaker. And DK, I hate to do this to you, but we're going to go back to 6-year-old Bill again.
All right. 6-year-old Bill seems like a decent guy.
Because Bill saw Hulk Hogan on the funeral parlor a few weeks before the Survivor Series. Ric Flair comes out.
Yep.
Bill's a Hulkamaniac at the time.
Brother.
And Hulk Hogan, it was like him and Cal Ripken to me at 6.
Okay.
Undertaker comes from the casket and attacks him. I start crying and yelling. I'm like, no! I break it down. I'm crying. My mom's coming over to comfort me. She's like, okay.
The Undertaker! Sorry, I don't know why your mom sounded like Paul Bear there. I apologize. Oh, Bill! Wait.
So yeah, you guys kind of know where I'm going for in this match.
Yeah.
There's a casket out at ringside, and Hulk Hogan comes out and he destroys the casket.
Yeah, that's not very nice. Destruction of.
Yep.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this match. First of all, it is in the middle of the show. Not the end.
It's the third match.
This is the third match.
It's called the Grievous Challenge.
5.
Yeah. There's 5 matches.
Yeah.
Why is this not the last match?
I kind of have a theory.
Okay, I got to hear it because it makes no sense.
Besides
Hogan needs room service, he needs to get back to his hotel, or he needs to go to Texas.
This is not the Nobel winning theory that I have. That'll be coming up later.
All right.
I really believe the reason they had this match on third was because they didn't want people to go home sad. Honest to God.
Did they want half the crowd to leave? Once you see Hulk Hogan and The Undertaker, you're hanging around to watch the Legion of Doom in a 3-on-3 match. Really?
So this match is Undertaker's first big time main event match. And he does not do bad at all. No. Not at all.
Not at all. Exactly.
He looks good in this. Um, the beginning is pro Hogan, but at the end, when Undertaker wins, it's split in half. And there's that one fan who's dressed as Hulk Hogan in the front row.
Yeah.
Now, we should mention Ric Flair did come out towards the end of the match. And all he was doing was looking at the belt. That's all he wanted to do.
Yeah.
He didn't bother Hogan. So Hogan comes out, punches Flair. He gets back in the ring, tries to do a leg drop. Paul Bearer grabs his foot. Flair grabs a chair. Undertaker hits a tombstone. And actually, I have a story when we're done talking about this Hogan match that I got to talk about that I saw after watching the Survivor Series. Undertaker hits a tombstone. 1, 2, 3. Taker wins the belt. Bobby Heenan's going crazy. It's over. Hulkamania's dead. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Then we get a possible oversell here because you have officials galore come to check on Hulk Hogan.
Mm-hmm.
And I wonder if you caught this part with Gorilla and Bobby talking about it, because they mentioned that earlier that day, and this is legit, this actually happened. Hulk Hogan went to a Detroit hospital to visit a Detroit Lions player who had recently been paralyzed. I don't know if you caught that or not.
No, I didn't catch that.
They didn't say his name. I don't remember his name, but they did mention it, and they were like, "Oh God, could this, be like the same thing?"
Yeah.
That happened with Hogan here, which it didn't. And as Hogan is starting to leave, people are starting to boo.
See, my thinking here is now there has been a legend story about Hogan saying Undertaker did it on purpose to hurt him.
Right.
I think that they told him to lie down like this so maybe the Undertaker wasn't getting cheered when he won. I think they wanted Hogan to still be the over babyface, knowing what they were doing on Tuesday in Texas. Oh, where's my camera? There we go. Thanks.
Have a shot every time one of us says it.
Yeah. So that's kind of like one of the theories I had. The heel winning the title, you don't want the babyface to get booed, and you don't want the heel to be cheered.
Right.
So what you do is you have the Undertaker win by cheating. Flair put the chair in the ring, and Undertaker tombstoned him on it. Yeah. Hogan overselling, and then years and years go by of him kind of having hurt feelings.
Well, actually, it's kind of funny you bring that up.
So,
because that's the story I wanted to talk about.
Okay.
Because Undertaker did an interview on the video was from ESPN. So I'm going to assume it's ESPN.
Okay.
So he gets to the arena at noon, the day of the show. Hogan normally does not get to the arena till about 4 or 5 o'clock. That day, he was already at the building. And Hogan tells Undertaker, "Hey, brother, my neck's kind of sore. Be easy on the neck, brother." So Undertaker, the rest of the day, would walk around, and every time he saw Hogan, Hogan would do this. So, they get through the match, and Undertaker is with Shane McMahon. And they go, the Undertaker wants to, look for Hogan, wants to talk to him.
Yeah.
They hide behind a wall because Hogan is in Vince's office. Hogan is lying on the floor. And he's like, "Someone give me a phone. I need to talk to my wife and kids."
Holy shit.
So,
that's funny.
So now Undertaker is carrying in his mind the burden that he has hurt Hogan, the Golden Goose, as he called him.
The Golden Goose, yeah.
So when they meet the next time, which is Tuesday in a southwestern state,
Thank you for that. Good God.
He has a talk with Hogan.
Yeah.
And he asks Hogan, "Oh, look, I heard stuff. What happened?" And Hogan said to him, "Well, brother, when you hit the move, your legs were kind of tight on my head." That's all it was. Because if you watch, because Undertaker thought it was when he hit the tombstone on the chair that he had done something. When you actually watch it, it is so safe. It's like, it's unbelievable.
When you watch it, it honestly is one of Taker's like worst tombstones, because it looks like he's being too cautious. Like you don't even see like the head or anything get close to the mat.
Right.
Like some of the Undertaker
it's so safe.
Some of the tombstones he did to other guys, where it looked so good. Like I know he was only about 1 year into he was exactly 1 year into this character. So like he got a lot better, but he was really good in this spot. So
and I'll put the video up in our group so everyone can see the interview that I mentioned. So, because I'd never seen it and I'd never heard that story until after I'd watched the show. So
your legs are a little tight, brother. Jesus, come on, Terry. Come on, Terry.
All right. So now we're going to get into a lot of backstage fun.
What was your grade on the match?
I gave it a C.
Just for like who was in the match?
I think a bit of the title change and how it was going. I gave it a C.
Undertaker, knowing what he would become, Hulk Hogan, obviously, Ric Flair being out there.
Right.
Yeah, I'm with you. This would have been a really good main event. Obviously, like I still like I like your theory.
Yeah.
For why it wasn't at the end, but like you gotta like. It's called the Grievous Challenge. That's like putting the Ultimate Challenge, WrestleMania 6, in the middle of the freaking pay-per-view.
The Mega Powers explode in the 7th match of WrestleMania 5.
We don't want people to be sad. Like, come on.
Actually, okay, you know what? real quick before we get to the backstage.
So they can be happy on Tuesday. La 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 la.
Okay. No, in all seriousness, I did want to ask you this, because a friend of mine, who I should add in the group, he's a great guy. About a year or two ago, he came up with a different main event for the Survivor Series than the one we got. You would still keep Tuesday in Texas. You'd still keep the event. You'd still keep the match. But instead of it being the title match, you have a 4-on-4 Survivor Series match.
Okay.
The teams that he had, and I actually like this, the teams that he had: Hogan, Savage, Piper, and Virgil. And there's a reason why Virgil's in this. Against Taker, Roberts, Flair, and DiBiase.
Yeah.
Would that have been a better main event for Survivor Series than the Grievous Challenge?
Well, sure, but the main event was Legion of Doom versus.
Well, no, I'm just saying if we didn't have the title match.
Yeah, for sure. Like, yeah, you got some really good, and the storylines would have worked. I always like Survivor Series is great. Like, I think you should have a title match as your main event.
Okay.
So if you put 4 or 8 really good singles guys together and you have an elimination match, it's going to be a good match. I'll be excited for it. But it's almost like this year's Survivor Series where I'd be a little bit more excited if Roman Reigns was defending a title than being in War Games that we talked about earlier. But I do like that proposed.
I do too.
Match.
I actually did. I was like, that actually makes a lot more sense because you still get you would still get Hogan and Taker. You'd still get Roberts and Savage. You'd still get those matches. So,
and then it kind of would depend. Like, do you get a Taker win over Hogan?
Good question. That's a good question.
And then maybe Hogan then puts the title on the line Tuesday in Texas because he lost to now the new number one contender, the guy that pinned him.
Yes.
Then that could maybe work for me. Tuesday in Wyoming would be better though.
I don't know. Tuesday in Montana has a good ring to it.
Yeah, like that's only 6-hour drive for me. I could have made it.
All right. So backstage shenanigans. Roddy Piper comes and he talks about how he's hearing Hogan yelling for Tunney. Then Sean Mooney is with Ric Flair and Mr. Perfect, and Flair saying Hulkamania is dead. Blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
Mean Gene comes back because they cut out the 5-minute intermission in shock that the Undertaker is the new World Wrestling Federation champion. We then get an interview with IRS and the Natural Disasters because they are now in a 3-on-3 match with the Big Boss Man and the Legion of Doom.
Seriously, like what is happening?
And Jimmy Hart, I love Jimmy Hart. He's like, oh, it should be 4-on-3, baby. Randy Savage had a little snake bite. It would have been all right. Jake Roberts should have been in trouble, baby. So
okay, that first thing, that's phenomenal impression.
Thank you.
I want to give you props on that. If you're going to have the Undertaker versus Hulk Hogan in the middle of the show, why don't you put on the match that went first as your main event with all your stars? Jesus.
See, this is an episode of Raw is War, folks.
God damn it. Like, why? That's what I love about this old stuff, because like there's so many stupid shit happen and it makes me crazy.
I'm gonna be honest with you. This show is kind of a guilty pleasure show of mine. I love it for the just pure absurdity that we
do. But like I remember I was hanging out with my kids and I was like, oh, I gotta watch this show for my next podcast. So they started watching with me. And then I'm like, how long have we been watching this? I paused it. It was like 45 minutes in and Hogan's coming out. I'm like, what the? How long is this show? I'm like, okay. Anyway, now, it made no sense, brother.
Oh yeah, I forgot to mention 6-year-old Bill was devastated that Hogan lost the title. How he made it through Thanksgiving the next day is incredible. Well, until we find out something in a couple minutes. So Sean Mooney is in the back with the Big Boss Man and the Legion of Doom. And Animal is like, this is the match we wanted all along. I'm like, the hell?
You wanted people to get hurt?
You wanted 3-on?
No, I think the reason Sid got hurt, right? He was supposed to be in this
Sid
match?
was originally in this match.
It was supposed to be 4 versus 4. Roberts was supposed to be in there, and then they used the Roberts angle to get Roberts out of the match.
Because Sid, I think, had like a torn bicep.
Yeah, he did something to his elbow. It was an elbow injury, I believe.
Yeah.
But what I remember reading.
So Hawk cuts his promo, and then he's about to get into his catchphrase. And then another great moment of the show, Sean Mooney interrupts him in the middle of it, and Hawk is like, Mooney, don't you ever.
That was one of the best part.
It is.
He was like ready to say like, oh, what a rush, and he cut him off, and he's like, are you serious?
That would be like if Sean Mooney interrupted Stone Cold saying that's the bottom line.
And that's the bottom line. Okay, back to you.
Wait a minute. I got something.
Yeah, exactly.
Or if you smell. Oh, wait. Rock, hold on. I got something.
Oh, that would be awesome. Rock would just tear him a new one.
So Mean Gene is now with Jack Tunney. Jack Tunney's at the show. Who knew?
Oh.
Jack
Why was he via satellite at the beginning then?
So Jack Tunney says that
There's so much wrong with the show. Oh my god.
So Jack Tunney says that the referee's decision is final. And Gene's like, oh, he's like a kid. Oh,
Yeah, Gene's best friend just lost, so.
Gene would have made a great politician. My God. So anyway, yeah. Tunney says that even though the ref's decision is final, I can make a match. And Hulk Hogan is going to get his rematch for the title. That he's going to get it this Tuesday in Texas.
The 7th?
And then, and Gene's like, hallelujah. And then to add on, Jack Tunney goes, to make sure the bullshit that didn't happen tonight happens again, I'm going to be at ringside for the match.
Oh, nice.
Sure, nothing bad's going to happen out of that.
No, of course not.
So now we know we got Savage and Roberts and Undertaker and Hogan this Tuesday in Texas. And we still have 2 matches to go.
Seriously. Like, what the hell? Honestly. Like I said at the beginning of the show, this is like the pre-show. Like, if
it's a 2.5 hour pre-show.
You take the Hogan Undertaker match like off this show, it's like a Saturday night main event at best. They could call it Wednesday night main event in Detroit. Wednesday in Detroit.
Oh God.
God, freaking Jesus! I hate it so much. Oh, you know what? I should just go back and make a list, top 10 worst pay-per-views ever, and we'll just review them in order. And then I'll go so crazy I'll smash my computer.
I'll be like, "How dare you add this show to the list?"
We should each pick our top 3 worst pay-per-views, in a decade or something, and then put it up on the poll, and see how many votes we get.
Oh dear God!
Taboo Tuesday style.
Yeah,
that would be a good one to pick.
All right, well, we got more action, so we're going to our next match. It is
action is not really the word I would use, but
it is the Beverly Brothers and the Nasty Boys against the Bushwhackers and the Rockers.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Well, I always loved the Bushwhackers because I was licked by a Bushwhacker when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
There was a few hundred of us, I'm assuming, in the world that were licked by Bushwhacker, but
it had the honor.
Yeah, the honor. I didn't even want to wash my head. I was like,
I've licked my nephews like a Bushwhacker, if that means anything. But it was when they were much younger, so
it's a little weird.
It is. I'm gonna be honest. For some reason, I really enjoyed this match. I don't know.
It was good.
It is. Because
you know what? I would love to rebook this whole show. I would put this one first.
Because all right, I'm gonna be honest before I give my thoughts on the match. Because I'd heard a podcast maybe a year ago, and they reviewed this show, and they got to this match.
Okay.
And they mentioned Dave Meltzer gave this match 3 stars. And I'm like, this match got 3 stars from Meltz? I mean, I don't really make it a big thing with Meltzer.
No, but he definitely grades WWF matches hard.
He grades them weird. And this is a perfect example. But after watching it, I'm like, you know what? He might have a point here. This isn't that bad of a match.
Yeah.
It's after Hogan and Taker, the main event, and it's Thanksgiving Eve. I'm sure by this point, some of those parents in the arena are like, can we go home? I've got a turkey to make. And
Hogan's already gone on.
Right.
That's why it made no sense for me for where they put the Hogan match.
Honestly, DK, that's what I was watching for the entire second half of this show, was to see how many empty seats there were
Yeah.
the rest of the show.
Couldn't
Because
really
Hogan had showed
tell with the cameras. Like, I'm sure people did leave,
them.
but it's hard to say. Like,
And
I
then,
would have put this match you're talking about, like, and you could tell, like, when the guys were coming out, it was a dead crowd.
mhm,
Hogan, like, I'm sure everyone went there to see Hogan beat the Undertaker,
mhm.
and then not only does Hogan lose, but he loses in 12 minutes in like a kind of like, why is this match on right now
Almost
situation.
one-sided.
Yeah, like Undertaker does a bunch of stuff outside the ring,
So
chokes Hogan with a cable. Like, I don't know.
this is, like I said, this match is actually pretty entertaining for what it is.
Yeah.
The Rockers show off. They look good. Nasty Boys look. Actually, you know what? Everybody looked kind of good in this match.
Hmm.
Um, and you saw the planting of the seeds of the breakup of the Rockers,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah,
good.
because that happens pretty soon after this, doesn't it?
Yeah, like 2 months almost.
Okay.
Um, the survivors were the Nasty Boys and Blake Beverly. Why not just let both teams survive? Just let both win.
And what I think made this better was the chemistry, because you had 4 tag teams.
Yeah,
Not, hey, let's put these 4 decent singles guys together and it'll
exactly.
be
That's
like
what made this
a good
good.
match. Like you were saying, that first match was your favorite. Like, now thinking about it, I would say this would be my favorite match, just from the flow. And like,
Mhm.
as a kid, I loved the Bushwhackers. Like,
Right.
the Bushwhackers, and Sean and Marty were always good together.
Yeah.
And Nasty Boys, they weren't the most athletic guys, but they were entertaining when they
They
were in there.
were. Yeah. This is the longest match of the entire night. It is a 23-minute match.
Yeah, very very similar to that first 4-on-4.
Mm-hmm.
That was around 22, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I gave this a C plus.
Yeah, I'm right with you. Um, yeah, I gave that first match a C. So like, they're 1 and 1A,
Right.
1A 1B situation
Yeah.
for me. I liked both the matches, but I would give a slight edge to this one, just from what I said before with the chemistry of the teams.
Yeah. So then we are told by Gorilla and Bobby that the event that's coming up on Tuesday is going to be on pay-per-view, and it's going to be a special holiday price, whatever the hell that means.
So you're telling me the show you've been plugging for 3 hours we can actually watch on TV?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what the hell, man? Like, what were they doing?
Well, actually, there is a reason, which we'll talk about when we're
Okay.
done reviewing this.
Okay.
So we have one more match to go. IRS and the Natural Disasters against the Big Boss Man and the Legion of Doom. Now, this is where my Nobel Prize winning theory is going to come into play. Because
Okay. It's got to be a good one.
this is what I think was originally going to happen.
All right.
If they don't do the snake bite incident,
Yeah.
Savage gets reinstated. So the match begins as a 4-on-4. Roberts gets chased out of the building by Savage.
Okay.
The referee just counts the ref's like, okay, they're not coming back. They're both eliminated.
Sure.
So you get what everyone wanted to see out of the way. And you still would have had the 3-on-3. You just wouldn't have had, oh, Savage got bit by a snake and we had to suspend one guy for the night.
Yeah. That's your theory? Okay.
I accept my Nobel Prize. Okay.
I don't know. Like I
This
said, I have so many complaints with the order of the card. Like the card's not awful.
no, it's
It's
not. It's just the
it's
order is so
just
funky.
how they do it. Like, and this is supposed to be your third biggest show of the year,
Mm-hmm.
and you're saving one of your top main event guys coming out of retirement for a Tuesday in Texas match that you could have just had on
We had
Survivor
8 or
Series.
9 at this point.
Yeah, you could have had it at Survivor Series,
Yeah.
and like if you want to put Hogan and Undertaker in the middle, that's doesn't make sense to me. But if that's what you're gonna do, and you're gonna
As
have a
long as you
Savage,
have Savage
like
returning.
well, why don't you put Savage versus Jake and put some stipulation and have it as the main event?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you have the snake in a cage like above the ring or something.
Because if you watch this show, and I'm gonna say something that may be controversial, depending on how people deem this.
Usually when someone says that, it is controversial, so I'm looking forward to this one.
Watching this show, honestly, I felt like Jake Roberts was the number one heel in the company. Bigger than Taker, bigger than Flair. I really think he was positioned. Like if Flair had not been there, Roberts is your number one heel by far.
Yeah, I
And
think they could have
probably
done
would
a
have
lot
won the
more.
title. He probably would have been world champ.
They could have done a lot more with Roberts as a heel.
Mm-hmm.
Like
So
he had the best promo in the
mhm.
game, and people hated him legitimately
Yeah.
for this snake incident. Like they could have ran with it, but they had a lot of top heels. Like they still had $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase,
Mm-hmm.
which I thought one of the top heels
He
ever.
did. Yeah.
And then you got, like you said, Flair, and like I know the Undertaker turns baby in '92,
Mm-hmm.
so he's only a heel for the first little bit of his career, but
Right.
he's still a pretty good heel
Mm-hmm.
here.
So the match here, because we have to finish this match. There's a great moment where IRS accidentally hits Typhoon to eliminate him. Earthquake gets so upset that he leaves with Typhoon, basically making it 2-on-1. IRS hangs in there for a little bit. He is ready to leave, but the boss man comes out because he had been eliminated earlier.
Yeah.
And he prevents IRS from leaving. He gets him to go back in the ring. Hawk hits a clothesline. 1, 2, 3. Legion of Doom are the sole survivors of the match, and the people go home happy. Like I said.
Yep.
Um,
I'm
as
thinking
far
Macho Man coming off top rope, people are going to go home happier.
yeah,
If that's how it goes, but
as far as the match, with all the circumstances and crazy stuff, I gave this a C.
Yeah, I gave it a C minus.
All right, so we're not too far.
Yeah, I don't have a whole lot of comments besides what you have already said. So,
Oh, actually, there is one part that I forgot to mention in the previous match, but it does get mentioned in this one. Bobby Heenan mentions that he is having Thanksgiving dinner at his Beverly Hills mansion, and that admission to get in is only $8.
oh, nice.
And he gives his mother a discount. She only has to pay $6.
Bobby is the best.
My God.
Oh man.
So, all right, that's the show. Oh no, wait a minute. We're going to Sean Mooney. Well, Sean Mooney interviewed Hulk Hogan, except Hulk Hogan didn't want to come on camera. Jesus, this show.
Because Hogan was already getting room service, they just played a like audio of him or something. I don't know.
Hogan didn't want to come on camera, but he said that he's got the eye of the Hulkster and that he's going to win the belt back on Tuesday.
And where is it? What
Oh,
state?
it's in Texas.
Oh shit! Really?
Yeah.
I This is new information.
So we go back to Gorilla and Bobby while the Legion of Doom song is still playing. And it looks like they're going to wrap it up. They even put up the credits. But all of a sudden, oh, Mean Gene's found the Undertaker. Oh my God. So we go to Mean Gene.
Was it hard to find him? He was in the building earlier.
Well, you know.
And the show. I love
So
it.
Mean Gene is in what I assume is the basement of the building.
Yeah.
And there's Paul Bearer. And there's Undertaker with the belt. And they talk about how the rematch has been made for, let's say it together, folks, this Tuesday in
In
Texas.
Texas. And the pre-show has ended. Thank freaking God.
So Paul Bearer talks for a little bit. Then Undertaker talks for a bit. He shows Mean Gene what we assume to be a body of Hulk Hogan. Mean Gene's like, huh. And then Undertaker closes the casket. You hear the creaks, and then you hear the gong go off. And that ends Survivor Series 1991.
And I almost didn't survive. Who will survive? Not DK, brother. Because
Okay.
it was hard.
I think it's I guess it's safe to say, because I feel at some point we're going to do all the 91 pay-per-views. I think it's safe to say, just quality wise, this is the worst one of 1991 for WWF.
Well, there's only now. Are we talking Tuesday in Texas as a pay-per-view?
As well, yeah.
Jesus. Well, I've already watched the pre-show, so maybe we should do Tuesday in Texas soon.
In the future, maybe. I mean, like I said, for me, it's a fun show to watch just for the absurd craziness that we get.
Yeah.
The matches are deep. They're good to watch, with the exception of the one 8-man tag. That's the exception.
Yeah.
All the other matches at least are worth watching. They're at least worth watching. I'm gonna give this, it's gonna be like a C-, but it's more of like, it's a fun C-.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm right with you. Like the way I ranked the matches, like there was one D in there and a bunch of C- and C+.
Mm-hmm.
So there's nothing great about it, but there's nothing real bad besides the order of the matches for me. And I know I'm beating a dead horse, but that's just the way I feel about it. Like you have your biggest, most popular champion facing a guy that's never lost. He's a dead man, and you have it as the third match. Like it just didn't make any sense to me.
Right.
And when things don't make sense, I like to talk about it.
Yeah. Now, I do want to mention real quick the reason why we had this Tuesday in Texas. I had to do a little research. Apparently, this was an experiment. And what I mean by that, not that they were going to do Tuesday in Texas annually. The experiment was to do these short 2-hour pay-per-views in between the bigger pay-per-views. So you can say, in a way, this was an in your house before we had an in your house.
Yeah, just about 3 years early, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think it was 95 when that started.
95. So about almost 3.5.
Yeah.
So that's why they did it.
Okay. Now, like it was like a week after this.
Yeah.
Like it's just kind of weird how it all worked out.
Mm-hmm.
But it brought for a good show here for us.
Mm-hmm.
Like I always enjoy the shows where there's controversy.
Yeah.
Like my favorite show we've done is The Ultimate Warrior. Check it out in the archives. because there's a lot of back and forth and there's a lot of disagreeing. Like, we didn't disagree a whole lot on this show, but there was a lot of stuff to break down and
we did
kind of criticize, which is
Mm-hmm.
fun to do in wrestling podcast.
Yeah. All right. Now, before we start wrapping this up, DK messaged me earlier today and he said that he had a topic that he wanted to discuss for the next episode. Because usually, you know, me and him will each come up with somebody or something, and then you guys will vote.
No.
But DK has a topic for next show. He has not told me. I don't know what it is.
Now, I'll say, if we had a poll, I don't think there's another topic that would beat this one.
Okay.
So, if you wanted to do a poll, we could. I don't see a scenario where it would lose. Okay, so 25 years ago, an incident took place in Montreal. The Montreal Screwjob 25 years anniversary just happened.
Yep.
I believe it was November 9th. I want to say.
Yeah.
I would like to break down and talk about kind of, well, we'll start at the beginning, kind of like the story leading up to how that all went down.
Yeah.
The lead up between Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart, the issues they were having, and what led to Vince McMahon making that decision, and then the aftermath from what happened. So basically it'll be like, I know we've talked 97 before, but this is, I can't believe it's been 25 years.
It doesn't feel like it.
I feel like it would be a good topic for an anniversary type show. And there is so much, like, I know this has been talked to death in wrestling podcasts, but I feel like we've talked about it a little bit with our Shawn episode and our Bret, but we didn't really talk about it to the length that I think it should be talked about on a wrestling show. So I think that should be the next show that we bring out, hopefully soon. And and as long as you're okay with it, I
have no issue with that one.
I got a ton of commentary and opinions.
And I think why
I like we've talked 97. 97 is one of the greatest years in wrestling.
And I think why I like, doing this as the next episode is, and I'm not sure how many podcasts have this, we're going to be getting this from a Canadian standpoint of view. It's always like all I've ever heard, American. Yeah. I want to hear it from up north.
Yeah.
And I know they were as pissed off as Bret was the night that happened.
And it's like, don't get me wrong, I'm not part of the Hart family.
He's not.
I live in the same city as Bret Hart. Like that, it wasn't almost a Canadian thing. Like it was a Canadian thing, but like, we're from the same city. Like, people, like, we talked about it. It was on the news up here. Like, it was a national tragedy what happened to him. And I have opinions on both sides. And I think it's gonna be one of our best shows, and I'm looking forward to it too. Or to bring it to you. And a great segue would be, because then the show after that is, we are going to watch along a show I've never seen before.
Yep.
Starrcade 97.
Also having its 25th anniversary.
25th anniversary, plus, I believe, this is Bret Hart's WCW pay-per-view debut, right?
Yep, it is. So it's a good way to end 2020.
Nice segue. For us. And now this show could be long from what I want to do with the Montreal Screwjob.
I'm ready.
Because I would like to watch along the match after we talk about it. If that's okay with you. I think it's about 25 minutes.
We can do that.
We'll do a full watch along. We might have to do it in a 2-part scenario if you want, but and then we can bring them out at the same time But
Yep.
I think that'd be good. And then we could kind of like, you can look at different parts of the match because you know kind of what happens at the end.
Mm-hmm.
But like for me, like I'll save most of my comments for that show. But
Right.
that before that happens, before the screw job happens, it's a great match, honestly.
Yeah.
So, and a lot of people don't talk about that show.
Always talk
at
about
all.
the end.
Like this isn't a Survivor Series 97 show. It's going to be about the screw job.
Right.
So, but we'll talk about all the stuff leading up. We'll probably start at Royal Rumble 97. That's where it kind of all started.
Yeah.
So, so I'm looking forward to that.
Absolutely.
And before we go,
Yes.
it's a wrestling show. What are your picks for Thanksgiving NFL?
Okay.
I probably won't record any football stuff with you this week, so
Right.
since
The only one that I'm certain of is the Bills beating the Lions. It's like the only one I'm kind of certain.
Are the Bills going to have more home wins in Detroit than the Lions this year? I don't know how many home wins the Lions have. I
think 2.
They have 2, so they could tie them.
They could tie them.
Which is kind of funny.
I'm going to take the Bills to beat the Lions. The Cowboys to beat the Giants. That's actually the toughest one to pick, is that one. The Cowboys and the Giants. And I'm going to give you a little bit of a shocker on this one. I'm taking the Patriots to beat the Vikings.
The Vikings were kind of dismantled at home.
They were.
After being 8-1, being this team that had kind of found a way. Like they came back in a lot of games.
Yeah.
Did the Cowboys figure something out? Or is it just a 1-week situation?
I have to see.
I will probably go with you on the Bills. I like the Giants in kind of like a ball control type game. Like I think when the Giants lost last week, I think it was kind of like a look ahead. Maybe they overlooked.
Maybe.
And I think the Vikings get back on track here. But we'll see. I figured that'd be a nice way to end our Survivor Series show, talking a little Thanksgiving football.
I only went with the Patriots because I'm like, oh wait, Kirk Cousins is playing on prime time.
Oh shit! Never mind. I changed my pick to New England. Primetime Kirk Cousins. Oh my god! Was he like 1 in 29 or something?
Not that good.
It's ridiculous. I think he only has 1 win in primetime.
Not that good.
Jesus.
All right. Well, if you guys want to join us on Facebook, we have a group, the DK and Bill Wrestling Podcast.
Please do. Share it with your friends.
Hopefully, Tito, you can join our group. We'll have you. You can do whatever you want. And that's really about it. Like I said, everybody here in the U.S. have a good, safe Thanksgiving. Everybody have a good, safe rest of the week. And come back real soon because we're going to be dissecting Montreal 25 years later.